Put these Stephen King movies in the release order, and we're talking about the original films: Misery, Carrie, Christine. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be, and welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. Thanks for checking out the show. Today's episode, movies to scream to, all horror related trivia, which is perfect for the month of spooky October. I have not watched any spooky movies yet this season, and October is almost already half over, so I got to get on it. But we've had a lot of visitors. We've been doing a lot of visiting and traveling, and hopefully we can sit down on the couch and get scared together at my house. Before we get to today's episode on movies to scream to, we have the triple connections of trucks, nails, and cattle. Trucks, nails, and cattle. Listen for that tri-bond answer at the end of the episode, along with a fun fact of the day about the movie Tombstone and Wyatt Earp. We're all warmed up, we're ready, and we're jumping into movies to scream to. Here we go. It's movies to scream to. Question number one. What long-running horror film franchise begins in Camp Crystal Lake? Number one, what long-running horror film franchise begins in Camp Crystal Lake? Number two, in what U.S. state is the Overlook Hotel, the demonic residence at the center of Stephen King's The Shining? In what U.S. state is the Overlook Hotel in the movie, not in real life? Number three, Cillian Murphy battles fast-moving zombies in the 2002 post-apocalyptic horror film Blank Days Later. How many days later is it? Number three. And number four, what author's Fear Street series did Netflix adapt into a trio of horror films in 2021? Number four, what author's Fear Street series did Netflix adapt into a trio of horror films in 2021? Number five, what is the name of Bruce Campbell's reluctant time-traveling Deadite Slayer in the popular Evil Dead franchise? What is the name of Bruce Campbell's reluctant time-traveling Deadite Slayer in the popular Evil Dead franchise? In the middle of the episode, I just want to shout out and say, if you have a holiday party coming up, go to my website, triviawithbuds.com. It's linked in all the show notes for easy clicking, and book your holiday party with me anytime, triviawithbuds.com. Number six, 2002's Prey is a prequel to what 1980s action thriller? Number six, 2022's Prey is a prequel to what 1980s action thriller? Number seven, the 2023 supernatural horror movie, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, is based on what classic horror novel? Number seven, the 2023 supernatural horror movie, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, is based on what classic horror novel? Number eight, what is the character name of the possessed young girl in The Exorcist? Number eight, what is the character name of the possessed young girl in The Exorcist? Number nine, did the Blair Witch Project come out in the 90s or the 2000s? Number nine, did the Blair Witch Project come out in the 90s or the 2000s? Number 10, in The Ring, how many days do people have to live after watching the videotape? Number 10, in The Ring, how many days do people have to live after watching the videotape? And number 11, put these Stephen King movies in the release order. We're talking about the original films. We have Misery, Carrie, and Christine. Misery, Carrie, Christine. What's that order? Those are all your questions for movies to scream to. We'll be right back with the answers after... We are back with the answers to movies to scream to. Hope I startled you with my really bad scream, which I haven't screamed in a long time. So that was new for me. Number one, what long-running horror film franchise begins in Camp Crystal Lake? That was Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. Number two, in what U.S. state is the Overlook Hotel? Colorado. Although I think the real one is in Oregon. Number three, Cillian Murphy is in 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later. Number four, the author R.L. Stine created Fear Street, and they made that into 3 movies on Netflix. Number five, what is the name of Bruce Campbell's reluctant time-traveling Deadite Slayer in the popular Evil Dead franchise? Ash. Ash. I love the 3 Evil Dead movies. Seen them a lot in high school. I don't think I've seen any of the spin-off TV show stuff. Ash versus the Evil Dead. or some of the remakes that they've made of the movies. Number 6, 2022's Prey is a prequel to Predator. Predator. Number 7, Last Voyage of the Demeter is Dracula. And I thought that looked cool. It's probably not like a great movie, probably like a good 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. But I did want to watch it, and I think it's on Paramount Plus. So that's going to be one of the first ones I watch when I actually sit down to watch scary movies in October. Number 8, what's the character's name of the possessed girl in Exorcist? That's Reagan. Reagan. Number 9, did the Blair Witch Project come out in the 90s? Yes, it did. I think it was 97, 96, 97, 98, something like that. Maybe 99. Number 10, In the Ring, how many days do people have to live after watching the videotape? 7 days to live. And number 11, the Stephen King movies in order were Carrie, then Christine, then Misery. Carrie, Christine, Misery. And there you have it, movies to Scream 2. And Scream 2 is a movie you can scream to. Triple connections, we have trucks, nails, and cattle. Those are things that can be driven. Drive a nail with a hammer, drive a truck with a steering wheel, and drive some cattle with your tractor or your, I don't know how they do it. And the fact of the day, Tombstone, the 1993 movie about Wyatt Earp, had an actor in the cast named Wyatt Earp. He played Billy Claiborne. That's a really random fact that I bet you didn't know. That is all for today. Thank you so much for listening. And website triviawithbuds.com for all your holiday parties. If you got something coming up and you need some unique entertainment, think of trivia, bingo, and game shows with me. And thank you so much for leaving Apple Podcast reviews. I love reading those. And if you've been a longtime listener, take a couple seconds to do that. It helps get more eyes and ears on the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend, and we'll see you next time for more Trivia with Buds. Cheers.